Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 12th of July 2020. Welcome to video number 198, right? Today I want to talk about very interesting but very dangerous subject. I want to talk about asking yourself a question which is very important but again very dangerous. And let me start with the story because I found out what I'm going to talk about years ago when we had like a breakfast. Me and my sister, we were talking with our father. We just had a, I don't know, it was a Saturday or something. We're just sitting there talking to him, eating breakfast. And then we start to, I don't know even how, we went down the subject what we don't like and we start complaining. We're sitting there with my sister. We've been teens. And we basically went so far and so aggressively against him, saying that this is wrong, this is what we do better, and something that first time in my life, I saw my father cry. He was so under siege that he basically said that this is what you think, that this is how wrong we raised you, how wrong we did. And he just started crying. And I remember like today, it hurt so much that we got to this point that we made him cry, that it's until now I feel like my stomach is basically shrinking out of this feeling that you can make the person that you love so much to make them hurt to this point, especially because that was a guy. And we kind of we said we're sorry, and so we kind of tried to stabilize the whole situation. And I don't really remember how it ended, but we had to get to the kind of good conclusion because we're still talking to each other. But I remember since that moment in time, I kind of remember that I asked myself a question, like where that puts our father, where that put all the fathers, all the husbands. Because when something goes wrong, the wife can run to the husband. But if something goes wrong and he's dealing with it, where he's going to go? Who's listening to his problems? Who's helping him dealing with all of this? And many times he'll say, "Oh, he's supposed to go to his wife." But what if the situation that they find themselves in, she won't be able to help, and it's his responsibility to take care of the house. So you basically get to the point that in many situations, not in everyone, but in many situations, it's like the husband is like the top of the food chain, or the bottom, whatever, how you want to look at it. Because whatever goes wrong, at the end of the day, everything falls on his arms. He's taking the responsibility. So in many cases, he's taking care of everything, he cares about everyone, but there's no one for him to go to when he's struggling with things. So then, when I start to get to the point that I start to become much more, have courage basically to ask, to kind of look at my life, ask what I want, and it's like kind of try to get to the point that I started to have this all under control to some degree. I got to the point that I really start to ask myself, what do I really want? Not what I want for the relationship, not what I want for this or that. What do I really want? How do I want my relationship to look like? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to leave behind me? Because at the end of the day, with many things, my wife won't be able to help me. If I'm taking the most of the responsibility, she can trust me or not, she can talk to me, she can try to be helpful. But many things that I'm going to go through to make this thing happen, she won't and she don't want to have knowledge and experience in. But if you get to the point that you start to kind of realize that it's not about serving over and over again, it is to some degree. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do you want to serve all your life? Even though it's a good thing, and I always say do that, but at the end of the day, I kind of get to the point that you've got to ask yourself, what do I want? Because especially if you've got your relationship to some degree that it works fine, it's great and it's cool, but then where that leaves me. So everybody is more important than I, so it means that I will never have my, my satisfaction. I will never have my dreams fulfilled. So that's why I always say it's a very dangerous question, because there are at least two ways you're going to look at it, or might look at it. One, what do you want from your girl? What do you want her to be for you in a relationship? Because if we are those leaders, if we are these people that we are kind of dragging this whole thing and it's on our arms, then what is the compensation? What is the thing that I get from it? And what do I get from my girl? And second, what do I want from my life? Who do I want to be for real? And then you got to look at it, because if you're, and this is what I always say, and this is why I've created a training that I'm just finishing right now about like deep dive into manhood. It's, you have to understand so many things about yourself as a guy, about relationship, about how you think and how you operate as a couple, to not fall for some stupid idea. Because you've got to understand that if it's emotional, if you come back to if you ask this question yourself, and something is wrong in your relationship, you will want to go extremely far to one side or the other, and it will basically hurt you if that will happen. If someone will just come and with magic wand is like, poof, make it happen, you might say, whoa, if that would happen, what I really think about right now, what I want from my girl, that will completely destroy our relationship, or twist it to the point that it would be unrecognizable, or it will basically split us apart. So that's why I want to ask yourself, if this is wrong, what do you really want? Because many times, to understand, you will have to understand what was the real reason you go so far, and it goes to its own rabbit hole. But if we're talking about like a really positive way, what do you really want from a girl? What do you want her to do? How do you want her to behave? How do you want to treat you? What would really make you satisfied in your relationship, in the relationship, you and your girl? And then second question, what do I really want from life? Am I satisfied in the place that I am right now? Am I satisfied with the things that I do right now? Or maybe I really, for years now, I'm thinking about doing something completely different. And again, if you're coming from a bad place, you may think, I really want to be a sailor. I want to go to my wife and say, listen, take care of our 3 children and see you in 7 months. Would that help? Would that be like a positive experience to your relationship? Would that build anything, or rather destroy it? So you know what I say. If you're coming from a bad place because something doesn't work in your relationship, that's why I say you have to start with rebuilding your relationship. Then you can come back to that question, and not being afraid that you're gonna go too far or have some crazy idea for yourself. But again, not overcomplicating this whole video. If we ask and have this like a positive, that it's okay. What do you really want? Maybe you work in a company and you want to do something completely different. Maybe you're a car mechanic and you want to be, painter. What do you really want? What would make you really satisfied? If you'd be able to make it happen. And then the question is, how do you come back with that to your girl? How do you come back to her and say, listen, this is how we want you to behave. This is how I would like our relationship to look like. This is what I would like to get from you as a this love coming back from you that I send you your way all the time. And then how you come back to your girl and say, listen, I would like completely to change our lives and completely flip it upside down, because I see that my satisfaction is completely in a different side of the spectrum than we are right now. How are you going to do this? And you see, that's why I always say this is one of the most dangerous questions that you can ask yourself. Because if you're living in this relationship type that you just do, you serve, you help, you're taking responsibility, then there's no place for you. And then asking yourself this question and be really thorough in going through your answers, just rejecting those who are negative or showing up in your head just because you're in a bad place, and just looking at those who are really positive. But it will require a lot of work. It will require this very serious conversation with your girl. Then the problem is that it will change your way of looking at your life, because you will never be able to look back. You'll never be able to get back to the state that you didn't know that about yourself, that you want this or you want that. But it's gonna be life changing if that's a positive thing. That's the one that you want to know and you need to know, because if you never get to the point that you feel really satisfied, really fulfilled, what is the meaning of all of this? So one thing to remember, you want to ask yourself, what do you want from your girl? What do you want from your life? And you want to be really sure. That's the danger. Really sure that you're not wanting something because you come bad place, because something doesn't work in a relationship. But if you find it positive, it will completely change your life. It will completely give you a goal, give you a thing that you really want to reach for. And this is the thing that you want to be able to live for, and thing that you will be able to enjoy coming to you from your relationship. So this is what I want you to take from this video. The question, what do I really want, is one of the most dangerous questions you can ask yourself as a guy. Because if you're coming from a bad place, it'll destroy your relationship, it'll destroy you. But if you're able to really sift it through and find what you really want, it will completely change your life. So this question is basically life-changing or life-threatening. So you need to really, really be careful with it. But that's the only way for you to get satisfaction. So that's why I want you to carefully, but ask yourself again and again and again, what do I really want? Think about it and do something about it. Because if you do it right, it's going to completely change your life. So have fun. If you liked this video, share, like, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what's your experience. Maybe you see something that I don't. I'll be glad to learn from you. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, give me a shout. I'll be glad to do it for you. That being said, see you tomorrow.